I'm Draven. I typically make high gain amp demos here on YouTube. Recently I did an unboxing of some stuff that I was fortunate enough to get sent from Z-Sounds. So today's kind of a continuation on that. So today we'll be checking out this, which is a Sennheiser MD421 2. This is a dynamic microphone, commonly used on like toms, like for drums, and guitar cabs and stuff like that, guitar speakers. I do have to put this video down as a sponsored video since Z-Sounds did send me this microphone for me to make a video on. But as usual, I'll be just showing you what it sounds like and what it does, and that's about it. Today we're going to be taking a look at it recording some guitar through a 412 Mesa cab. So for this, what I ended up doing was taking some stems from the Ibanez Universe demo that I did recently and ran the DIs through the Gojira plugin, but I turned the cab off and I ran those through a solid state power amp and into my Mesa cab. So we're going to go ahead and mic up the cab and kind of move the MD421 around on the V30 speaker and kind of see how it sounds in different spots. And then we're also going to blend a 57 with it as well and kind of see how those react to each other. And lastly, we'll go through and get a blend going and see if we can get them to sound good with the mix and everything and show that off a little bit. Alright, so first let's check out just the MD421 on the Mesa cab and see how that sounds. Alright, now let's do basically the same thing, but with a Shure SM57 on the cab as well, and we'll kind of get those moving around a bit. Alright, and so I got them into a spot where I thought it sounded cool, so I ran both sides of the guitar through the setup and got that all recorded. So let's dive into Reaper and we'll take a look at how it sounds in the context with the rest of the instruments and all that, and just mess with it a little bit. Alright, so here is like the general mix with no guitars, just for reference. So I'll turn the guitars all the way down and we'll bring them up and see how they fit. So far they sound pretty good. I would say that they sound maybe a little dark, but pretty close. We can go in and take a look at like the blend of all of them and see if we can brighten it up at all there. So here's just the guitars by themselves, and we can adjust the blend between the 57 and the 421 to add some brightness or take it away. So I like how that blend sounds a lot, but again, I still feel like it's a little dark. Along with adjusting the volumes and stuff, you can also flip the phase and see if that does anything you like. So I'll show you that. And in the context of the mix. Just kind of changes the overall shape a bit, but I feel like in this instance it kind of helps it. But for the sake of this video, I'm not going to use the flipped phase, just so you guys can see how I generally work with things and EQ them and all that. And it sounds like there's a couple resonant frequencies that are sticking out a little bit for me, so we'll go ahead and grab a EQ and fix those up a little bit. So we'll go in and add some brightness and take out some of those resonant frequencies that I'm hearing, and we'll also probably end up taking out a little bit of like the low mids and stuff, but we'll see what happens. There's definitely a good bit of buildup in the low end, so there's two things we can do. Either cut out a bunch of low end using a low cut, or we can also, in Pro Q3, you can do kind of a dynamic EQ, which the harder something hits it, it's gonna pull it down a little bit. So we'll start off with just a low cut, and then we'll see if we need that dynamic thrown in there at all. So with the low cut, going up to the point where it kind of corrects the palm mutes, I feel like it's taking out some of the low end that complements the bass a lot and makes it kind of thin sounding. So we're not going to go too crazy with the low cut, and we'll try the dynamic EQ to kind of balance it out. So as you can see there, just on the low end of the palm mutes, it kind of just grabs it and pulls it down a little bit. And I'm still hearing some resonant frequencies and a little bit too much of low mids. Get some of those low mids out of there, and then we'll check on the resonant frequencies. So hearing some of those resonant frequencies, them all being in this like general area, what I might do instead of just fine tuning these is I might just pull down that area in general a little bit, and that might fix it. So we'll try that. Doing some wider moves like that instead of getting in there and really fine tuning them can sound a lot more like real or like authentic, you know, and it just pulls it together a little better in my opinion. But yeah, now we'll kind of A/B it and see if the EQ helps and if there's any other small tweaks that we need to make. Yeah, I think that sounds pretty good. And generally that's kind of all I do with guitars, just kind of make it sit a little better, and that's about it. But with this video obviously being about the 421, I feel like it adds a ton of like body and more character to a blend with like a 57. And I would definitely say if you're recording a lot of metal guitars and stuff, it's definitely a mic to have in your collection. But yeah, kind of went on a tangent EQing the guitars. But if you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful or informative at all, make sure to like and subscribe. And as usual, I have a C-Sounds affiliate link down in the description, which if you pick something up, helps me a ton. And yeah, see you next time.